we're back with a new step-by-step video. It's gonna be interesting today because I'm gonna go for a longer look. After all the actions with the clippers, I'm now gonna show you how to work with scissors. What I want to do is kind of a crossover between Paul Weller, the Ramones. It is definitely a haircut inspired by, oké, jullie nu omdraaien. Nu! That, on the floor, happens to be my sweet daughter, because our handsome model today is her boyfriend. Now, you don't know my daughter, but her being here means I really gotta try my best. Otherwise, I'm gonna hear it. So, what I want to show you is how to work with sections and your scissor work. Angles are going to be very important, just as important as they are with clippers. Now, this might not be your standard Schorem haircut. This is not what we usually do in the shop, but I think it is super important to be all round, and of course to be able to give every patron the haircut they want. Now, of course, I know my daughter's boyfriend, duh, and one of our classic styles is not really going to work with him. He's a skateboarder, his hair has to fall in place. I do want to give it a bit of a punk rocky feeling, so I hope you're going to enjoy. I'm going to start by washing the hair. I normally just use my spray bottle, but today I really want to clean it because I really want to see the natural fall of the hair. So, we're gonna wash it first. Here we go. I'm so gevaarlijk. Yeah. Okay, guys, I sincerely hope that you might have watched one of our other videos, because you will see that I basically always use the same sectioning. I'm going to use that same sectioning and technique today to do a completely different haircut. Yeah? So I'm going to start by looking for my baseline. Following the natural implant of the hair, as I always do. See, follow the natural shape of the skull. Making my first section on the parietal ridge. My second section is gonna follow the other natural implant in the temple area, which I'm gonna save till later. Within this panel, I'm gonna take a section from the widest point of the side of the skull, which will be exactly where the ear is attached to the skull. So, this is going to be the first section I'm going to work with. Now, I like to keep a lot of length on the sides and in the nape area to make it a little bit more dirty. So somewhat of a mullet, so to say, right? And like sharp cut, fake sideburns, yeah? So I'm gonna start by setting in my outline. Coming close to the face. Now I cannot tell you exactly at what length you have to cut it because it's personal taste, right? Do whatever you like. Now what I like is to make the haircut, it's a bit of a crossover, so I want it to look square and masculine, while at the same time it has to be a little bit of a, what's the word? Buk, hoe heet het ook weer? Man en vrouw, dat je het niet... androgen. And, right? Androgen. Androgen? I'm a Dutchie. Androgyn noemen wij dat in Rotterdam. Androgen. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of crossover, but by making the shape square, it's still going to look masculine and punk rock. Yeah? So, I'm going to start with the first section above the ear, and I'm going to over direct that section up cutting in my first layers. These are going pretty short on the parietal ridge, leaving a lot of length around the ear. Second section, same manner. Up, taking the previous cut section as a guide. And I'm going to repeat exactly the same, slightly pulling the hair in the front back. Look for that same section. Leaving length, but adding layers. If you want to double check yourself, lift all that hair up. And look for excess weight. First panel is done. In my second panel, I'm going to start with my outline. So I'm going to take a section in that outline, comb it in a natural manner, and I'm going to follow my previous cut outline. Leaving length and weight. Moving on to the inner layers of that cut, I'm going to take a section and use my previous cut guide to follow through into the back area. I want to keep a little bit more weight in the back, not too much. If I want to keep a little bit more weight, so a little bit more weight in my layering, I'm going to slightly over direct my sections to the previous cut section. Next section, up, up, I'm going to continue my layering. gonna continue my layering till I pass the opposite bone. You know which bone I mean. See? Slightly over directing it out of the middle. I'm not gonna take off too much weight here. There we go. Yes, I'm gonna save the outline in the back till when the hair is dry, because I want to keep a lot of length, but I don't want the hair to be too frizzy, too thin. So I really want to see what's happening when the hair is dry. I do, however, want to double check my baseline. So lifting it all up, taking out a little bit of excess weight, up, and continue that process. Now, by lifting all that hair up, because when you do men's hair, I think it's very, very important that you're gonna end up with a masculine shape. So I don't want the crown to be too full. So by lifting all that hair up, you're gonna keep a lot of weight in that nape area. Okay, I'm gonna move to the other side and I'm gonna repeat exactly the same process, guys. Stop. So I'm gonna move to that first triangle in the front. Now I hope you guys see that I'm using exactly the same technique. Normally I take up all the hair in a 90-degree angle and work with clippers, yeah? And I actually, in a couple of months, hope I will be able to show you guys, I'm gonna do exactly the same haircut with clippers. Just to show you that these and these, they're tools. Very, very important tools. But the most important tools are your hands that hold those tools, because the magic of the haircut is in this hand, these angles. That's what I want to show you guys. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a section about 1 inch wide of that first triangle, in which I'm gonna cut my desired length. Now I'm gonna do that quite straight, but in the end I'm gonna chop up that same fringe. I just want to create a basic shape to work with, as we always do with our haircuts. So this is going to be my guide length to work with. Yeah. Take the rest out of the triangle. Okay, I'm gonna take a section in the middle of this previous cut triangle, yeah? 1. And I'm gonna take a weight in that triangle. Going up. I'm gonna use this length in that triangle as a guide. So I'm gonna take another section within that triangle, lifting it up, setting in length. Section, lifting it straight up out of the skin and using that previous cut length as my guide. For those who are not comfortable with their scissors, again, what would your clippers do? Because in a certain way, even the mod is based upon a flat top. I'm gonna cut the top quite straight, right? And when you think about it, if I would slick back the sides, I'm gonna end up with some kind of flat top with fenders. See, because my next section is gonna go right through the middle. And I'm going to use that previous cut length as a guide. See, completely square. To the crown area. Lifting all the hair up in the crown area. See? So basically you're gonna end up with a very square top. Again, this is just the base of the cut. As always, the real haircut is gonna start when the hair is dry, because then I can really tell what's gonna suit his face and what his hair wants to do. Yes? Now, since I got that short length on the crown area, that means I got a pivot to work with. Yes, so this is gonna be my central guideline. Now, I'm gonna take another section, which you can tell is exactly the same section that I used to cut that front area. Yeah, the widest point of the skull. And from that point, I'm gonna take a section, move it up, and follow that guideline. Don't worry too much about that disconnection here. We're going to use that later. Yes? Short, short, pivot, pivot. Yeah? So I'm going to continue taking sections and follow that guideline. Make sure that when you take your section, you're always going to find a body position that's comfortable. Yes, check. Check. Gonna repeat the whole process on the other side of the head. Now, as you can tell, there is still disconnection left in this area here, which is a good thing because I want to keep my angles super square. I want to build the shape very, very square, but you'll see when the hair is dry. Okay. So, because we went shorter on the sides here, we still got a little bit of disconnection left on those angles. I'm gonna save that hair to work with later. As you guys might know by now, my whole technique is based upon having hair left to work with and staying in control throughout the haircut, right? I know I'm gonna take this hair away, so if you're more comfortable by making that slight connection here, taking off this longer part, I kind of like to do that freehand because I want to keep those angles really, really full for that masculine look. So what I'm going to do right now is dry the hair into the shape I want to work with, and I'm going to use multiple freehand techniques to perfect the hair, to put detail in the hair, to put a signature in the haircut. I'm going to use not the Surf Tonic, but the spray Grooming Tonic. Now, you all might know our Grooming Tonic, which should be here somewhere. This is without a doubt one of my favorite products that we got in our range of Russell products. You use it before blow drying. You can use it pretty much over every other product we have, adding a little bit more shine or hold. What I like about the new grooming spray, it is a little easier to divide it over the hair. Yes, and especially when you're working with slightly longer hair, you can really spray exactly where the hair needs a little bit more hold. Always, I'm gonna dry the hair in a natural way. So loosely move it around because I want to see where his hair wants to go. I'm not going to force it into a direction it does not want to go. Okay, so once the hair is dry, just like the other videos, whether it's a pompadour or a flat top, you're going to start with removing bulk. So now we got our shape to work with. Yes, this is pretty much, everybody up to this point can repeat all the steps, but now your personal way of working comes in. Now, of course, I like the shape. The fringe is way too heavy. There's a lot to be done, so I'm going to use different techniques to accentuate some of the parts of the haircut and, well, again, to kind of put my signature in it. So I'm going to start by defining my outlines. See? Look at the natural fall of the hair. You don't want to force it into a direction it doesn't want to go. Going a little bit shorter in the neck, but not too much. I really like that length and the fullness of the mullet. Yeah. If you want to keep the hair full without movement, cut it as close to the skin as possible. That's how you're going to set in a nice blonde line. Close to the skin, white teeth of your comb. Do not force the hair into a direction it doesn't want to go. The moment you pull the hair out of its natural fold, you're gonna have graduation, which might work, but not in this haircut. We want to have really full, heavy, thick outlines. Yes. To make the fake sideburn work even better, I'm gonna go a little shorter with his natural side. See, by going shorter under that fake sideburn, it makes the hair a little bit easier to move. Same story on the other side, of course, taken away. Okay, remember what I said about keeping the haircut square? That's why I left that little bit of disconnection right on the parietal ridge, which I'm now gonna lift and take out. See, if I would have taken that off between my fingers, I could have never created that little bit of texture, extra texture, that's gonna make the haircut look even more square. Yeah? Gonna continue that same manner of working throughout the parietal ridge. See, keep looking at what the hair wants to do. You want to chop it up, but you don't want to have chunks in the cut itself. So you cut it chunky, you make sure that you got a natural movement throughout the haircut. Now, I know some people might go like, oh, that's not barbering. No, it's not. This is definitely closer to men's hairdressing or hairdressing, whatever you want to call it. Personally, I don't really care. You know, I know about hairdressing and I was taught in classic barbering. My life got so much more interesting when I start combining the two. Because, again, I hope you see, I'm using the same technique that I would use if I want to do a taper or a fade, right? I just switch tools. But keep an eye out on our channel. Please subscribe if you got the chance, because I want to show you guys how I would do exactly the same haircut with a pair of clippers. But of course, we gotta wait till it grew back a little bit. Gonna continue. Adding texture to that parietal ridge. Lift and blend the whole thing through. You want to keep it a little bit choppy. See, with these haircuts, it's all about the right texture. You want the hair to move around. I don't want the hair to sit in one position. I want to have a bit of a raggedy look. Okay. Once you're satisfied with the transition into the shorter hair on top, we're gonna work on the top. Now, I want the top to be choppy too. So I want it to be able to lie down flat, but I also want it to be able to move around. So what I'm gonna do is I'm pretty much gonna take sections and freehand texture to the hair. See, lifting it up, and again use the crown as a pivot. Keeping weight in these angles, but go slightly shorter. On the crown area. What I personally like about this way of working and these kind of haircuts is that you can really make them exactly the way you like it and the way your patron likes them. Yeah, it's a very personal feeling and touch that you're gonna give the haircut. It's also something you can never cut exactly the same twice, which makes it somewhat exciting. You never know exactly what is gonna come out. It's really, I almost get a Bob Ross feeling when I'm doing these kind of haircuts. A little bit of hair here, a little bit of hair there. Ooh, there is a tree. No, there is a, I don't know, but you know what I mean, right? Nothing beats Bob Ross when you're in bed on a Sunday with a hangover. See, texture. Taking little sections of hair. Keep checking your haircut for balance. And texture. See, keeping the squareness of the cut. Now, once you're happy with the overall shape and texture, we're going to move to that fringe area. I kind of like the fringe to be a little blunt, but I want to take out little chunks of hair to make it easier to move around. So you can either use normal scissors or blending scissors to take out weight. I'm going to start with my blenders. Lifting the hair up and remove weight in that fringe area. See, once the fringe is as light as you can have it, if you're taking out enough bulk, just gonna break up that blunt line a little bit. By lifting it, taking out little chunks of hair. Now again, there are no rules. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you like with this haircut. Yeah? Final touches. A little bit of chin up cutting. Now, of course, if you want to go for shorter sides, hey, be my guest, go for shorter sides. With these kind of creative haircuts, it's really up to you. Whatever you like to do is what you gotta do. Yeah? Just make sure that your texture and balance is equally divided. That is the key trick in these kind of cuts. I think that a haircut like this should not have too much product. I kind of like the haircut to become a natural falling cut. So tomorrow the hair gets a little bit more greasy. It's just gonna get better looking throughout the weeks to follow, actually, right? But I do want to add a little bit of texture, so I'm gonna use our Surf Tonic, which is a light salty spray, just to add a little bit more texture. See, we're gonna let that dry a little bit. Okay, see the salt spray, the Surf Tonic, just adds a little bit of texture. Still be able to move the hair around, whatever, because it has to move, right? This is not a haircut that is set like a pompadour. The texture is the most important thing of the haircut. Now, there will always be people that go like, I hate it, some will say I love it, right? For me, the most important thing is it's fitting my client, it's fitting my client's, well, lifestyle, I guess. I love doing these kinds of haircut, yeah? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take wood and shoot some photos so we can really show you the different ways we can work with it. Now, for me, I love to do the classics. I'm known to do classic haircuts, pretty much the ones that are on our posters. To keep myself inspired and to keep my techniques intact, I have to step out of my comfort zone every once in a while, because that is basically the fuel in my engine. Now, I really hope you like this haircut. If you like it, please put a comment under here, right? If you don't like it, feel totally free to put comments too. I know you're gonna do it anyway. If you want us to do more step-by-step videos, like this one here, right? I really want to show you guys how I'm going to do it with clippers, because that's going to make it interesting maybe for the barbers, I don't know. Subscribe to our channel, because you're helping us out and it's going to motivate us to do more haircuts. I hope you had a great time, and I really hope to see you in the next video. And now this is going to be a little bit scary, because we're going to look at my daughter's reaction.
Love it.
Now, that's a real bloody daughter right there. See you next time.